So welcome back. We are just coming up on this road that's going through the line, going through the map. So we're now heading up toward the Northern Shroud, which is the last part of this region, and it feels like it's taken forever to get here, but we're finally doing it. There is somewhere I need to stop off because there's a little red dot, which is something that you ended up using in the Grandia storyline. If I remember, if you started, you had to actually visit this stump and do things with it. There we go. And we pop out here into this wide section, then we go left towards where the red dot is, because this is one of those unique locations that they've put on the map, and unique locations are always worth having a look. I think in the story you ended up talking to a tree or a spirit. Probably that's where the fairies was. Yeah. I think there was a little kid here and we had to come here and rescue them by defeating something that was here, and then the spirit of the forest spoke to you. And you told the kid to go back to town, and then you'd go back to town and the kid was fine, and he'd tell everyone about your exploits, and they'd ask, you know, what the spirit said to you. But we need to be aiming in that direction. Yes, this direction, as I just wetted my whistle. Around here. Up we go. That's actually given me a thought. I might try and find an old wiki about the 12 locations you had to visit to be able to get the ring, and actually do a video, not of me travelling to them, but the locations that they were all at, because I think that would actually be interesting, because that's one thing that they did keep in character creation in 2.0. But they never did anything with it. It's kind of why you kind of put a birth date in, like the month and the day. There was plans to make an entire system in regards to that, but that didn't end up coming, which is a shame. So we're coming up to Camp Emerald Moss. Ooh. And we've got a red dot. And that one I do know I can go into. Hey, we're going to have some excitement. That's Muntai. Strangely, I am getting memories of this location. There must have been a reason that I ended up having to come to this camp a few times, because I definitely remember this layout. It really does stick in my mind. Oh, I see. Okay. If you notice, there's a cellar's entrance there, and there's a cellar entrance there. And that funny beast symbol there was for another instance dungeon that you could go into. So I think it's going to be the best way to do this. If I come out of here, go into the cellars, so I pop out here, go to this crystal, go there, then up here, then down here. That looks like it's going to work for me. So yes, Camp Emerald Moss. Just as we discovered all the other ones, it's very simple design layout. As you see, everything that you'd expect to see there is there. Keep moving on. And then we go up, and then up here we go right. I'm trying to think if they did anything with the cellars in 2.0, but I don't think they did. Because I think it looks just like, is it Tum Tum? No. The first dungeony type place that we visited. But let's have a look, shall we? So, across here. Up here. And then, ooh, unique tree. Very unique tree. Now if we cut right, and this should be the entrance to the underground section of this map. She's gonna do the trick. Okay, no doors. We are in. Oh, look at that mess. I wonder if we're going to be able to navigate it, because I have a funny feeling there is going to be lots of doors in the way. But there we are. More remnants of this dungeon. Does make me think if, you know, they had this entire thing about, you know, not wanting to copy, cut and paste for region zones. But I do get the feeling some of the stuff that they did here are copied in 2.0, that they've directly lifted out. Like, this has the feel of where you had the spider, because you'd come in here, that'd get sealed off. You had one direction that way, another direction that way, that then looped onto itself. What's going to be the best way? Probably going east. Yeah, that seems like a plan. And see if any doors stop me from progressing. I have a nasty feeling that some will. There. Now, how far across have I got to go? That far. And then we head this direction and follow it west. And then follow it up to the north. Even though we seem to be going down a lot. Then we should be able to cut through here. And cut up north. Just makes a pleasant change from seeing all that greenery to navigate across the world. Using something like this will just add a little bit of variety in regards to the viewing pleasure. That way you're not stuck with the green motif all the time. And then we head in this direction. Keep going up here. This is where I find a stray mob that's actually in the game, and it kills me in one hit. So let's head up. There. And it should put me back on the map, roughly in the middle of the Northern Shroud. Which is neat. So we then go this way. And across. Yeah, this is working. This is working quite well. I must agree, the maps were quite something. This isn't one of my favourite maps of the game, obviously, in 1.0. But this, if I remember correctly, was another instance. What's it called? Oh no, that was a Beast Tribe. This was one of the Beast Tribe poems. Oh yeah. I had forgotten about that. So next up on our tour is going to be... It is an IXL banner, yes it is. Okay. Heismill, I think it says. Yes, chat. I played 1.0 alpha, beta, played in release, completed the 1 point up to the finale. But I've been playing 14, A Realm Reborn, recently, and it just made me want to revisit the old game, which is kind of why I've made a big effort to be able to actually get this private server up and running, just so I could document for like posterity what the world used to look like in 1.0, because you can't really see it. I know you're not really getting the proper impression because it's devoid of enemies, it's devoid of NPCs. But at the same time, it's nice to be able to travel around this old location. This is the second stream that I've done in regards to this. My first one was doing the Thanalan area. And the next one I'm going to be doing Lenorsica. The one after that I'm going to be doing the Korthas region in 1.0. And finally I'll be doing Mordoa. So yes, in regards to how I got this project running, feel free to Google Final Fantasy XIV Project Meteor server, or go to my YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/preednd. And today, the first part of my Yadar video went up, and in the description is a link, so you can go and try and set up this server yourself and have a look for yourself. This is definitely... the game has its own character, and it's definitely nice to know that you can wander around it. It is a shame that the battle system isn't working and the quests and things like that. But it's just nice to be able to run round a place that I spent about 2 years. They are quite idiot-proof guide, but obviously I've done this because I've got it working, so if you have a problem on my YouTube account, just drop in the comments the issue that you're having with it, and I should be able to give you a reply back fairly instantly in regards to any issues that you're having getting the server running. Because obviously I've been able to do this, and I think more people should experience this, because it is, for me, I think it's an important part of Final Fantasy XIV's history that both the new director and Square Enix don't want to sort of fully acknowledge. They want it brushed under the carpet. But I think the game had a much larger original focus and scope in regards to 2.0. And I would have loved to have been able to see where they would have taken the game eventually with the ideas, if they'd been able to, you know, keep with the original game engine and where it'd go. I definitely think no one would like the Shroud with this current map system, because it's horrible. I do think in 2.0 what they did with the Shroud is fantastic. But I find that Thanalan and Lenorska and Kathos, I know I've mispronounced that, in 1.0, I think those zones have more of a character to them than what they do in 2.0. And also, obviously with this streaming series that I'm also uploading to YouTube, it is very dry. It is more me talking about how things was and how things are now, and memories that I have of going through different areas playing 1.0. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to field them on the streams, just because it gives me something more to talk about. I'm kind of running dry on conversation in regards to what I can talk about in the Shroud and in 1.0, because the entire region map, the way it was, I just tried to stay away from this place as much as possible, because it is the biggest guilty area in regards to where they implemented the copy and paste in regards to how a zone was structured. Shame that there's no battle sim, because I'd love to experience and compare that, because I've seen comments about the weight of the character and the animations and such. Do you mind if I ask if you're currently playing A Realm Reborn? Yeah, you've played it for some years. Okay, I'm just going to pitch up here for a moment. Even though the battle system doesn't work, I do have access to the full menu system. So in here, I've started as a gladiator. So here I have my 3 hotbars. There's a chocolate bar called a Toblerone, where it's like a long triangular pyramid. That's how your hotbar worked on a controller. So up and down on the D-pad rotated it through 1, 2 and 3, and left and right moved you across, much like this. And you'd assign your skills. So for a gladiator, it's like fast blade, rampart, phalanx, which is phalanx is an extra attack if you block with your shield that you can get in. Argus Boon, Savage Blade, Flash, Shield Bash, Sentinel, so your bread and butter skills. But the advantage was if you leveled your other classes, this is kind of what you had pick of. So with my Gladiator, I leveled my White Mage, so I'd have access to be able to equip on my Gladiator Stone, Cure, Arrow, Protect, Cleric Stance, Blissful Mind, Raise, Stone Ra, Stone Skin, Cura, Repose, Curaga, Eraga, Shroud of something, and Sacred Prism. So you could, for my Paladin, once they introduced jobs, which is what this version did, they locked it down. So if you're a gladiator and you equip the Paladin Stone, you can only equip skills from your White Mage or your Warrior onto your attack bars. But even with Warrior, you've got like Heavy Swing, Foresight, Brutal Swing, Bloodbath, Skull Sunder, Provoke, Fracture, Berserk. And if you didn't put your Soul Stone on, you could go into Pugilist and go... you could pummel them with your sword, or you could use Featherfoot to increase your evasion. Second Wind to have a little heal. It was a lot more free in regards to what you could do. Like, they've just implemented Red Mage, but if you didn't put your Soul Stone on your Gladiator, you could kind of make a Red Mage just by combining Black Mage spells with White Mage spells on your Gladiator. It wouldn't be as effective as a Red Mage, but it created sort of the same sort of effect. A sword and shield user that could use magic. Now, I don't remember what's up here, and they haven't got a name for it. Okay. Ooh. So that's what that is. Oh, show the map again. There you go. So, could be Galamora Ruins. I actually haven't... I don't think I've been to this location ever. Ooh. Okay. I'm intrigued. How many of these things are around it? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 things around it. I do agree, it definitely looks like there was a plan for it. Can you... No, so it's not open sky. But this is kind of why I wanted to get the server up. Because I know in the time that I played it, I never explored everywhere. And I figured it would be nice to have it up somewhere for posterity. I mean... That's quite a cool art asset, I must admit. Anything special this way, though? I mean, that's directly in front. Are emotes usable? Yes, emotes are usable. If I remember, sit, and then sleep. No? Okay. I thought that was something that you could do. I must have been hallucinating. Oh, that's a good point. So... So yes, I can confirm emotes are usable. I don't think there is going to be anything special down here, but I'd hate to... Yes, when you rested in an inn during a calamity, when you used the bed to exit, sometimes you'd come back and you'd have would say that you had a nightmare. I've experienced that a few times on logging in. So I can confirm that that one is true. Let's see. Anything? Maybe. Maybe not. Okay, so there's a waterfall. So that's that area kind of done. That's going to be my next target. Once that's target's done... Wow. Oh, I'd have done my objective, which is pretty much cover most of the Black Shroud. Wow, that takes a long time due to the level design. Sorry, I just keep checking the map out of habit. This place gets me in the habit of checking the map on a very regular basis to make sure that I'm going in the direction that I actually want to. But as far as I recall, that location was not used in the main story. The thing about the animations I like is the little lean when you turn. I mean, is it that? Everything had a weight to it, which was really nice. But yeah. Does make you wonder what their plans were for this. Definitely didn't use it in the main story. It could have been used for perhaps a Black Mage job quest, but I don't know because I never leveled it that. I haven't never leveled Black Mage that high. I think I only took my Black Mage up to about level 28, I think. Well, it would be Therma Mage, sorry. Okay, let's head back into the forest. I never consider myself a lore buff in regards to Final Fantasy games because it just can get so complicated. As I was explaining to a couple of friends, considering that Square Enix are currently sat on all the assets and all the voice and all the music and all the character designs and all the battle arenas of the end of this. I keep expecting Square Enix to turn around and do like a Final Fantasy XI expansion, which allows the player to go back in time and experience the calamity and be part of the group that try and stop the meteor, as to say. Because they've got all the assets there. All they got to do is come up with past versions of the maps and the towns. And they could do it in such a way that the expansion starts with you do something and it triggers an effect that puts you in a parallel version of, say, your hometown, where it's in the present but it's completely wrecked. And you then have to then go into the past to change it, and as soon as you go back into the past you've got access to the normal present, as to say, but the storyline kind of follows you having to recreate the events to stop Meteor, to keep the calamity coming on and foiling the plan of the lead guy, as to say. I mean, they got all the assets there sat ready and waiting. A lot of the work for them, a lot of the animations, the skills that are used, they're all just sat there ready to go. Perhaps that's their idea for the final expansion, for getting level 90 to 99. Sort of round out the game with the final set of levels is based around you actually going back to the calamity and doing that sort of thing. But we'll see. Though I do kind of expect, if someone from Square Enix actually watches any of these videos that I'm going to be putting up, that's not going to be their takeaway from it. I'm half expecting to get an email through my inbox going, could you please take down your 1.0 server videos? We don't want them up. But to me, this is part of the history of the game of FF14. I mean, I was chatting with a friend of mine, and the way that I look at the current job system in the current version of A Realm Reborn, to me that's job system version 4.0, because this that I'm using, even though it's 1.23 server, this is job system 2.0, because they just implemented Paladin and White Mage, because they introduced all that in patch 1.21. So before that it was just Gladiator and Pugilist, the Mage and Conjurer. Thanks for the vote of confidence that my videos will be safe. I hope so. It's just probably going to confuse Square Enix going, we shut that servers down, how are there new videos? Okay, just up here should be a nice body of water, but I'm not expecting anything special from it. But you never know, the game might surprise me. There we go. Yeah, the first person system has a lot to be desired in this one. Because it's not you push up and the view stays there. You gotta push the right stick up and keep it in the location. And then if you move a little bit, it moves where you're looking. Very strange. So, coming up to where the crystal would have been. Let's see. It would have been round here. Probably that little patch there, I guess. As you can tell, this is part of the game that I never really delved. This part of the map is somewhere that I didn't really delve into that much. None of the quests or missions that I used sent me in this direction. How are we doing? Foolsguard Lake, I think, is next. So I've got to start heading south. But yes, going just through these maps keeps making me think about the differences between version 1 and version 2. And there are definitely things that 2 does much better. I do prefer their version of this region, hands down. It is so much easier to navigate in 2.0. Both games have their pluses and their drawbacks. I mean, the way this game worked, it definitely felt a lot more rooted with the way that it presented its story and everything. But with A Realm Reborn, I'm not a big fan of the things that they keep doing, whereby, you know, you can now walk around in a cosmetic of Cloud's armor or Squall's armor. I believe recently there was a Nier Automata crossover. You had a Lightning Returns event implemented soon after A Realm Reborn started, so I don't like that aspect of it. I'd have preferred the game to try and keep its own character and not to have relied on the other games so much in the franchise. But that's just me. That's the way that I look at it. But we're not going that way, we're going this way. It all looks the same to me. I mean, I was chatting with a friend of mine about it, and he went, even though he loves the Golden Saucer, and he's quite addicted to it, for lore reasons, you know, they're 5 years after the Calamity and someone's made this giant cactus out in the middle of the desert. That's like an arcade resort zone. It just doesn't fit in with the context of the game that they've established. And it's nice that my friend, he can actually be that honest about it. The fact that he's addicted to it, but he does also recognise the problem that that creates in regards to the believability of the world, as to say. Okay, we're heading down. Yes, this way. We can go under. Can we go back up? That's the question. I think not. Okay, so how do we get up there? Am I up to date with the current Final Fantasy XIV story? I can definitely say no. On my main account, I think I only just started the first expansion pack that was released. So, Isengard expansion, Stormblood? No. Stormblood's the second one. Stormbringer is the latest. Haven's Ward, thank you. Yes, that's the one that I've only just started. Can I ask if the other stories do continue? Because that's the one thing I will say again, but that applies to both games, both 1.0 and 2.0, is that the stories are very well written. It's one thing I cannot criticize them either of them for. The way that they present the stories, but do they keep up the level of quality that they did in the main story with the expansions? There's a question for you all. Can I go up you? No. Right, so you're my way in. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Ah, the last little bit. Only taken 4 hours to do this region. Jesus. Can I go up you? No. But you look like I can go up. Yeah, we hook around here. Okay, so based on that, every other storyline is amazing. The ones in between are sort of standard. Okay. At least they didn't drop into, like, bad story writing. That's the only fear that I have. Right, so the last place we're coming to is one of the places that I used last actually in the game, because like I was leveling fishing and I think I just got to this area in regards to leveling my fishing skill, which was nice. It made a change. And then if we follow this through, yeah, this is going to make sense. And it's kind of a nice way to wrap up. And then we go this way. And then over here we have what would be the entrance to Korthas. So yes, in this stream basically we've done all that. We've done all that. We've done all that. We've done all that. And most of that, because that place got silly. That place got really silly. Okay. Now, for those people who are watching me stream, as I've got an extra person who I didn't expect, I'm going to be dropping a teaser for the next one. So we go. You, exclamation mark, warp, 128, 50, 50, 50?